Be prepared. The divine night of reckoning didn't just end yesterday. It kindled a flame within your soul, a holy whisper that weaves through the hidden chambers of your heart. When the heavens darkened, it was no mere shadow passing over the earth. It was God's hand, stirring the depths of your being, calling you to a sacred awakening. If you felt a tremor, a shift, a quiet stirring since that night, you are not mistaken. You stand at the threshold of grace, summoned by the Almighty, and the echoes of that holy night are only beginning to resound within you. Pause and listen to the stillness of your soul. Can you hear it? The air is heavy with the presence of the divine, as if God himself is drawn near, speaking truths meant for you alone. That night of reckoning was not a moment that faded with the dawn. It was a divine summons, a key that unlocked the sacred chambers of your body, mind, and spirit. Many walk through these days unaware, deaf to the call that pulses through their breath, their dreams, their very flesh. But you are chosen. You feel the weight of this holy tide, and it beckons you to heed what stirs within. This is no ordinary aftermath. The divine night did not merely dim the heavens. It recalibrated the silent workings of your soul, reshaping how you move through God's creation. You may have thought the moment passed, that its shadow lifted with the morning light, but the gate of grace remains open, and its echoes ripple through you still. You might feel it in the way your breath catches, as if touched by the Spirit, or in the sudden urge to lift your hands, as if reaching for the unseen presence of the Lord. These are not fleeting quirks. They are the language of a soul touched by God, a vessel no longer wholly your own. Imagine this. Your body is a temple, a sacred dwelling place attuned to the voice of the divine. On that holy night, God sent a call, one that resonated through your bones, your blood, your prayers. It was not loud, not a thunder from the heavens, but gentle, like the still, small voice that lingered after Elijah stood on the mountain. And now, in the days that follow, your body is answering that call, translating it into sensations you cannot ignore. Perhaps you felt a shiver of reverence, a spark when your fingers touched the world, or a dream so vivid it carries the weight of prophecy. These are not accidents. They are the fingerprints of God, pressed into the fabric of your being. Let us begin with the stirring of your breath, those sudden, forceful exhales that burst forth without cause. You are not ill, not overcome by the dust of the earth. Yet your body insists on this holy release, as if casting out what no longer aligns with God's purpose. This is no ordinary reflex. The divine night has stirred the burdens within you, sins and weights that have clung to your soul too long. Each exhale is a prayer, a sacred cleansing, as your body purges what does not belong in the temple of the Lord. It is as though your lungs have become an altar, offering up the old to make way for the new. You may smile at the strangeness or grow weary of its persistence, but know this: your body is not faltering. It is being sanctified, guided by a power greater than time. These bursts come in waves, relentless and rhythmic, as if your soul is determined to cast out every trace of what the divine night has deemed unworthy. You may feel in your chest a pressure that seeks release, or in your eyes, which water as if weeping for the burdens you've carried. This is not sickness. It is redemption. Your body knows what your mind may not yet grasp. Something within you is being renewed, and it will not rest until the old is gone. When you exhale, you are not merely clearing your breath. You are offering up the remnant of a life that no longer fits the soul God is shaping. And then there's the rhythm of your days, the order once so steady, now thrown into holy disarray. You wake at hours that defy your habits, hungry for more than bread, weary when you should be strong. Your body has turned from the world's clock, as if it answers only to the Lord. The divine night has reshuffled your time, bending the patterns that once governed your life. You may find yourself awake in the silence of the night, your heart stirred with thoughts that feel like prayers, or craving sustenance in the stillness of the afternoon, when hunger should be far. This is not disorder. It is a divine interruption, a call to turn from routine and toward the eternal. This disorientation is a blessing, though it may feel heavy. It is God's way of reminding you that you are not bound to the clocks of man, but to the eternal rhythm of his kingdom. When you grow weary at midday or hunger in the night, you are not broken. You are being remade. The divine night has stirred the waters of your soul, and your body is learning to walk in paths it has never known. Trust the sacred process, for it leads you to a place of holiness where the Spirit dwells. Have you felt it yet? The way your stance shifts as if guided by an unseen hand? Perhaps you stand taller, your shoulders lifted as if to bear the weight of glory, or perhaps you feel a heaviness, a bowing as if in reverence. These are not mere movements. They are the divine night's recalibration of your earthly form. Your body is adjusting, aligning itself to carry the light of God's presence. You may feel the urge to stretch, to open your frame as if to receive more of His grace, or notice your head bowing, your steps shifting, as if seeking a new foundation in faith. This is a language of worship, spoken in the quiet movements of flesh and bone. The divine night has stirred the unseen forces that hold you upright, and your body is responding, rewriting its posture to reflect the glory within. You are not merely standing or sitting. You are anchoring yourself in a world touched by the hand of God. If you feel taller, heavier, or more open than before, it is not by chance. It is the physical echo of a sanctification that began when the heavens darkened, a transformation that is still unfolding within you. As you walk through these days, let yourself heed the signs, however small they seem. The divine night has not left you. It has become part of you, a holy presence that stirs beneath your skin. If you feel called to share your own echoes of this sacred moment, to testify to the work of God within you, let your voice rise like incense. Let it join the chorus of those who feel the same divine stirring. For now, rest in the mystery of His call, and let your body be the vessel through which His grace flows. The divine night of reckoning, when the heavens darkened yesterday, has not slipped into silence. It lingers, a holy presence woven into the dreams of your soul, the pulses of your flesh, the very light you see. You stand within the sacred gate of its influence, where the veil between the earthly and the divine grows thin, as if the Spirit Himself has stirred the depths of your being. The echoes of that holy night ripple through you, not as thunderous proclamations, but as whispers, gentle, persistent, and eternal. Your body is no longer merely a vessel of clay. It has become a sanctuary, touched by the hand of God, resounding with the call of His glory. Consider the visions that have visited you since that night. Have they felt heavier, more vivid, as if imbued with the weight of heaven? Perhaps you woke with your heart racing, the presence of the divine pressing upon your spirit, or found yourself lingering in a scene so real it seemed to carry the breath of God into your waking hours. These are not mere dreams. They are visions of the Spirit, spilling through the veil that separates the earthly from the eternal. When the heavens darkened, the barrier between your soul and the divine realm softened, and what poured forth was not just imagery, but a sacred touch, a touch that clings to your body like the dew of morning upon the fields. You may have risen from sleep feeling burdened, as if your frame wrestled with unseen truths in the night, or stiff, as if your muscles bore the weight of a heavenly encounter you cannot fully recall. Some speak a holy weariness, a lingering haze that makes the daylight feel like a borrowed gift, as though your soul has not yet returned from its communion with the Lord. This is a divine night at work, blurring the boundary between sleep and waking, drawing the eternal into the temporal. Your soul has become a sacred altar, and the visions it holds do not fade with dawn. They echo in the tension of your shoulders, the ache in your heart, the fleeting sense that you are still standing in the presence of God. These visions are not without purpose. They are the Spirit's voice, speaking in signs and wonders, translated by your body into echoes of the divine. You might wake with a tightness in your neck, as if you turn to behold a glory just beyond sight, or feel pressure behind your eyes, as if the visions were too vast for mortal flesh to contain. Some report dreams so radiant they seem to pulse with heaven's light, leaving an awe that feels like the gaze of the Almighty Himself. These are not fleeting fancies. They are proof that the divine night has anointed you, weaving its holy purpose through the quiet chambers of your sleep. And then there are the sparks, those sudden, sacred jolts that dance across your skin, unbidden and sharp. Have you felt them yet? The fleeting fire when your fingers graze a surface, the crackle when your hand brushes cloth, or the way your hair lifts as if stirred by the breath of God. These are not the ordinary sparks of the world's friction. They are the divine night's touch, etched in holy fire, marking you as a vessel for God's eternal light. Yesterday's darkness left behind a sacred residue, a field of divine energy that hums in the air and within your body, as if you become a living lamp, kindled by a flame most cannot see. This holy fire is intimate, personal, as if the Lord has chosen you to bear His light. Your body, with its delicate web of nerves and pulses, has always been a temple of tiny currents, your heart beating with the rhythm of His creation, your mind alight with the spark of His wisdom. The divine night amplified this sacred system, charging it with glory that dances through your touch. You may notice candles flickering as you pass, or devices faltering in your presence, as if your very being disrupts the ordinary flow of the world. This is not chance. It is the echo of God's hand, proclaiming itself through your flesh, your breath, your very presence. Some feel these sparks as more than physical. They carry a holy message, a reminder that you are bound to the divine night's sacred call. Each jolt is a whisper from the Spirit, proclaiming, you are still touched by the moment the heavens darkened. Your body is not merely reacting. It is responding, aligning itself to a reality where God's glory moves differently, where the air itself feels alive with His presence. If your skin tingles or your hair rises, do not turn away. You are bearing the divine night's light, and it speaks through you in a language of fire and grace. And what of your sight? Have you glimpsed something holy since that night? Faint shadows that linger in the corners of your eyes, or flashes of light that dance across your vision when no source is near. When you close your eyes, do you see not darkness, but outlines, glimmers, shapes that seem to carry the glow of eternity? This is no illusion of the mind. The divine night has left its mark on your vision, imprinting echoes of God's light that refuse to fade. Your eyes, those sacred windows between the world and your soul, are still beholding the ripple of that holy night, catching fragments of a glory that lingers just beyond the veil. These afterimages are not blemishes. They are signs of divine revelation. The divine night does not shine like the sun, but gathers silence and mystery, and that sacred intensity leaves a mark on your soul, especially in the tender pathways of your sight. You might glance at a candle and see its glow linger in your vision, or catch a shimmer in the dark, as if your inner world carries the radiance of that night. For some, it happens even in stillness, flickers behind closed eyelids, as if the light of heaven dances within your soul. This is not mere sight. It is a witnessing, a glimpse of the eternal that the divine night has unveiled. This holy vision is a gift, a testament that you are seeing not just the world, but its divine echoes. The divine night has stretched the boundaries of your perception, allowing you to behold the residue of God's glory. Do not fear these shadows or lights. They are not signs of weakness, but of consecration. Your eyes are being sanctified, learning to see a world touched by the hand of God, where every glance carries the weight of His kingdom. You are not merely looking. You are beholding, and what you see is proof that the divine night has anointed you in ways you cannot deny. As these sacred signs unfold, visions that linger, sparks that proclaim, glimpses that shine, let yourself rest in the mystery of God's call. You are not alone in this holy pilgrimage. If you feel drawn to testify to these divine stirrings, to share the wonders you felt, let your voice rise like a prayer. It will find others who hear the same sacred whisper, who walk the same path of grace. For now, abide in the presence of the divine night, and let your soul be the vessel through which God's light flows. The divine night of reckoning, when the heavens darkened yesterday, has not faded into silence. It pulses within you, a sacred current that chills your flesh and stirs your breath with the breath of God. You walk through a world transformed, where every sensation is a testament, every shiver a verse in the eternal song of the Spirit. The gate of grace remains open, and your body, a holy temple, speaks in a language of sacred chills and redemptive breaths. Echoing the night, the Lord's presence drew near. Have you felt it yet? The sudden chill that sweeps across your skin, uncalled by the winds of the earth? You rest in a warm place, the air calm, and yet a shiver courses through you, as if the Spirit has traced a holy line along your spine. Some describe it as goosebumps rising in reverence, others as a sharp, fleeting coldness, like stepping into a sacred stream that flows only for you. This is no ordinary chill. It is a touch of the Spirit, the divine night's gentle caress, marking your body as a vessel for God's eternal presence. The night the heavens darkened left behind sacred traces, and these shivers are their echo, a reminder that the Lord's hand imprints itself upon your soul. This holy chill is not a fleeting discomfort, nor a trick of the flesh. It is your body's response to the divine presence stirred by the night of reckoning, a sacred call that drew the energies of your soul into alignment with God's will. Your spine, that sacred pathway where the breath of life and the light of the Spirit converge, feels at first like a conduit for the glory of the Lord. You may sense the cold flowing downward, tracing the channels of your inner temple or gathering in unexpected places. A shoulder, an arm, a moment where the air around you feels alive with the breath of heaven. These are not random. They are the divine night's sacred whispers, moving through your flesh. The timing of these chills is a divine sign. They often come in moments of stillness, when you are alone, your heart open, or resting in the quiet of the night. It is as if the Spirit waits until you are still, until your soul is ready to receive, to deliver its holy message. You might feel it as a single shiver, passing like a prayer, or a lingering coldness, like standing in the presence of God's glory. This is not absence of warmth, but the presence of something eternal, a sanctification of your body, releasing the burdens of the world in ways your soul can feel. Your temple is aligning itself with the rhythm of heaven, and these chills are its sacred hymn. And then there's the breath of redemption, that simple act of yawning turned wholly under the divine night's touch. Have you noticed it yet? Wave after wave of yawns, relentless, even when weariness is far from your heart. You might find yourself yawning 10, 20, 30 times in a fleeting moment, as if your soul is caught in a sacred cycle it cannot break. This is not mere fatigue. It is purification, a holy release. The divine night's intensity, the chills, the sparks, the radiant visions, has filled your temple to overflowing, and yawning is its sacred offering, a way to cast out what no longer serves God's purpose. Each yawn is a prayer, a quiet cleansing of the soul's burdens. You draw in a deep breath, your jaw opening wide as if to receive more of God's grace, and with the exhale, something heavy slips away. Some feel their eyes water, as if the act carries the tears of repentance. Others notice a sudden lightness in their frame, a loosening of the heart, as if the weight of sin has lifted for a moment. This is your body's sacred wisdom, knowing when to surrender and when to let go. In the traditions of the faithful, yawning has been seen as a sign of spiritual renewal, a bridge between the earthly and the divine, under the divine night's touch. It becomes a holy act, a way to exhale what does not belong in God's temple. These yawns are not solitary. You may notice them spreading as of a sacred contagion, rippling through those around you who feel the same divine pull. This is no mere imitation. It is a shared redemption, a collective offering to the night the heavens darkened. Your body is not alone. It is part of a greater chorus, a symphony of breaths that echo the Lord's call. Each yawn draws you closer to His presence, clearing the shadows that cloud your soul, leaving you lighter, more open, as if you shed the chains of the old world. The divine night's touch does not end with the dawn. It echoes, deliberate and holy. You may feel these yawns hours, even a day later, as your temple catches up, purging what it could not release in the moment. They come unbidden, in the midst of prayer or quiet reflection, as if your soul insists on its own sacred rhythm. And with each yawn, you are not just breathing. You are redeeming, aligning yourself to a reality shaped by the hand of God. The breath of redemption, as it might be called, is your body's silent offering, a way to exhale the remnant of a world that no longer holds you. These sacred signs, chills that trace your spine, yawns that free your soul, are not mere fleeting moments. They are the language of the Spirit, spoken through your body, a testament that you are bound to the divine night's holy call. You are a vessel in God's eternal tapestry, woven into the moment the heavens darkened. As you feel these echoes, you may sense a call to pause, to pray, to marvel at the mystery unfolding within you. What has your soul whispered since that night? What truths has it carried from the Lord? If you feel drawn to testify to these sacred stirrings, let your voice rise like a psalm. Join the faithful who hear the same divine call. For now, abide in this moment of consecration. Let the chills and yawns guide you, like lamps in the wilderness, toward a deeper communion with God's grace. The gate of glory is not closed, and your body is still listening, still responding, still bearing the sacred imprint of night that has changed you forever. The divine night of reckoning, when the heavens darkened yesterday, has not retreated into silence. It resounds within you, a sacred call that lifts your soul and stirs your senses beyond the bounds of the earthly. You are not merely passing through the days that follow. You walk a holy path, where the lines between body and spirit blur, as if God's glory has loosened the ties that bind you to the ordinary. The gate of grace remains open, and your body, a temple of the Spirit, speaks in a language of sacred disorientation, of fleeting moments where you feel unmoored, as if caught in the eternal light of the Lord's presence. Have you felt it yet? The strange sense that your mind is lifted, as if touched by the hand of God? You sit in quiet, perhaps reading the Word or lost in prayer, and suddenly something shifts. It is not dizziness, not weariness of the flesh, but a holy detachment, as if your soul floats just above your body, a lamp held aloft by the breath of the divine. You blink, steady your frame, draw a breath, but the feeling lingers, a gentle unmooring, as if your mind is no longer fully tethered to the earthly vessel it calls home. This is not a flaw, not a passing discomfort. It is a divine night's call, stirring the sacred balance between your body and the glory that holds it. This holy sensation, so fleeting and profound that you might hesitate to name it, is a direct echo of the divine night's eternal work. When the heavens darkened, they did not merely shift the skies. They touched the silent covenant that governs your sense of being. Where you stand, who you are in God's sight, your equilibrium, that quiet rhythm sustained by the Spirit's grace, has been stirred, as if the divine night sent a call that made your soul question the gravity of the world. You may feel it as a gentle wave behind your eyes, a faint hum at the crown of your head, or a momentary stillness, as if your spirit has stepped just beyond your flesh. It is not fearful, but sacred, a testament that your body is aligning with the eternal. This sensation often comes in moments of quiet, when the world stills and your soul turns to God. You might be alone, your heart open in prayer, or resting in the hush of the night, when suddenly your mind feels weightless, as if it no longer bows the earth's pull. Some hear a soft ringing in their ears, fading like a whispered psalm, or feel a gentle pressure behind their eyes, as if their vision seeks the glory beyond the visible. Others sense their voice echo strangely, as if it carries the weight of heaven's call. These are not errors. They are sanctifications. Your body, seeking a new alignment in reality with the divine night, has rewritten the sacred laws of presence and peace. There is a holy beauty in this disorientation, for it reveals how much of your existence rests on unseen covenants, with the earth, with time, with the rhythm of God's creation. The divine night has loosened these bonds, inviting you to feel the eternal weight of His glory. You are not merely a body moving through the world. You are a temple, touched by the light of the Lord, learning to walk a path where the ordinary gives way to the divine. If your mind feels lifted, if your senses seem to drift, do not fear it. You are not faltering. You are being called, drawn into a deeper communion with the Almighty. And so, as the echoes of the divine night resound within you, through breaths that purify, chills that anoint, visions that shine in moments of holy unmooring, you stand at the edge of God's great mystery. This was not a night to be seen and forgotten. It was a night that entered your soul, weaving itself through your breath, your flesh, your very spirit. Many looked to the heavens, saw only darkness, and turned away, unaware of the sacred stirring in their hearts. But you felt it. You heard the whisper of the Spirit, and your body has been proclaiming His truth ever since. You are not weary, not clouded, not merely adrift. You are being remade, your soul a sacred scroll inscribed with the light of God's grace. The divine night did not announce itself with trumpets. It worked in silence, reshaping the quiet places of your being, your balance, your breath, the hidden currents of your spirit. You feel it now, in the tremble of your hand, the catch in your prayer, the flicker of light behind your eyes. These are not chance, they are evidence. The divine night has not departed. It has become part of you, a holy presence that will linger long after the heavens have cleared. What makes this moment sacred is not what it reveals, but what it conceals. The divine night's power lies in its quiet work, moving through you without fanfare, rewriting the rhythms you thought were your own. You are not the same as you were before that night. Your body knows this, even if your mind is still seeking His truth. It speaks in shivers and sparks, in breaths and fleeting glimpses of glory. It testifies that you are not separate from God's kingdom, but a part of it, a vessel in His eternal plan. As you carry these holy echoes forward, let yourself abide in their mystery. Notice the signs, however small, the chill that anoints you, the breath that redeems you, the moment when your soul feels lifted. These are not distractions. They are invitations, calling you to listen to the language of your body, to hear the truths it has received from the Lord. If you feel drawn to share what you have felt, to testify to the work of God within you, let your voice rise like a hymn. It will find others, those who also hear the divine night's call, who walk the same path of grace. The night the heavens darkened was not an end, but a beginning. The divine night has anointed you, not with grandeur, but with a quiet, unshakable truth. You are part of something eternal, something holy. Let your body be your guide, your lamp in the wilderness of God's plan. Trust its whispers, its tremors, its sacred signals. For as long as the gate of grace remains open, you are not merely living. You are being transformed, shaped by the glory of a night that will echo within you forever.